Hey! Insight number 4. I did forget to mention in the last one too that the rest of section 38 does extol the benefits and downsides of gathering and not gathering. The fact that they get greater riches, land of promise. If they seek with all their hearts, they'll get an inheritance. That he's heard their prayers and they'll be as one, and you can escape the enemy. And but you also got to look to the poor and needy that need help with it. And there's some really good promises in there, and the Come Follow Me manual this week asks you to go looking for those and to pull them out. So it's a really good activity to do. I've underlined mine. I didn't do all of them. I just picked the ones that I pulled out. Some of them I just gave you there. So that's Dave really liked the esteem his brother as himself, as in treat others how you want to be treated, and value other people as you want to be valued. Trust and love and all those kind of things, others as you want to be. When you don't do that, you're not saying very much about how you think about yourself either. So, let's be a little better around there. We can all improve. None of us are perfect on that. I have certainly improved. Last year was last year or the year before? Not to call anyone raka, because I'd read that in the Book of Mormon. I went, yeah, I kind of do that a lot. People stupid and dumb. Not that I think they're stupid and dumb, it's just my frustration with them, but I really shouldn't do that. So, it's their behaviour that's inappropriate, not them. So that's really helped, actually. But we can still improve. I can still improve. Heck knows I can. Alright, so in section 39, there's a man called James Coville. So not the Colesville Saints, different words. This is James Coville. Now, he was not a lot's known about him, but he was like a preacher, like Sidney Rigdon was, who had a congregation, who was really good at the preaching, at the teaching, was going places with this, had his own group of saints, or Christians, not saints, sorry, had a group of Christians, and came to Joseph Smith and said, look, I really want to be part of your church. I'm super amped up about it. I believe what you're saying. He had all the right things going and probably felt that way. We don't know much about him, so we're going with it. He probably felt that way. Asked for a revelation. Now, that's what section 39 is, that he's called to do all these wonderful things. Yet there's no record of his baptism, and as you'll see in section 40, after a couple of days after this, he's just gone, disappeared, not there anymore, and we don't hear any more from him. So even if Joseph Smith or someone had heard anything, it's not recorded. We don't know. Other than that, he was scared off, and we don't know why he was scared off. His intent in the first place was genuine. The Lord said it. So it's not like he was coming to them and deceiving them, trying to get stuff. The Lord actually said, I can see this, and this is what we're going to look at. So in verse 8 of section 39, it says, and verily I say unto thee, thine heart is now right before me at this time, and behold, I have bestowed great blessings upon thy head. So that the Lord said, yeah, your heart is right before me. You're a good person. You're going to do amazing things. And then in chapter 40, because this is after he disappeared, he rejected the word and he was just gone. And it's only a few days later. So, Joseph Smith and Sidney were like, what? Who's gone? So they asked the Lord, and the Lord said in verse 1, behold, verily I say unto you that the heart of my servant James Coville was right before me, for he covenanted with me that he would obey my word. So he covenanted that he was going to obey the word, this is James, and then just left. So what happened, right? Because it's not like he was a bad guy. He was a good dude. He was a preacher with, the right intent. The Lord said, your heart is right now before me. So he was a good man. So what happened? It's not like he just suddenly left and went to, commit sin or go get drunk at the bar or something. He was a good guy. This is a good preacher, good Christian, going to do these amazing things. If you read through in section 39, he was called to bring forth Zion that it may flourish, and he was going to do great things. So what happened? Satan happened. Because we all know that when you're called to do something great, as we talked about last week, Satan's coming in to get you. And we're going to talk about that a bit more now. So 39 and 8 and 40 verse 1. So it's one little word and one big difference, right? Is and was. So are you a is or are you a was? Or you a, sort of back and forth. Think about that. Everyone faces critical moments of making decisions, setting goals, and establishing commitments. It is at these times that Satan enters the battle and persuades us against pursuing courses of righteousness. This is what happened to him. Satan got in his head and told him whatever, like, you're gonna maybe lose your wife. Like, we don't even know. Did he have a wife and kids? Were they gonna, like, leave him? Did Satan tell him that the saints would, the Christians that he had would turn against him, that he was going to join this church and everyone's going to call him crazy? Like, because that's what was happening, right? There was persecution everywhere. So whatever James feared, Satan played on and got him to leave. Sad. But he knows we will get spiritually stronger. This is Satan. Knows we will get spiritually stronger as we ponder, pray, and keep our promises to the Lord. So he hits our weak spots hard, especially when we're about to do something great. Now, interestingly, which I really love, the quote from President Oakes that I've got here is from a couple of years ago too. But actually pointing out that Satan doesn't just hit you in your weak spots. He'll hit you in your strong spots too, because he knows exactly how to do that. And he'll start getting you to question what you know, what you're really strong at, and what you know to be good. And I think this is probably what happened in this situation. As I said, this man was like Sidney Rigdon. He was a great orator, a great preacher. They had a skill, right? It was a talent, it was a skill, it was a spiritual gift that they had. He had this. So what did Satan tell him, So President Oakes, he said, Satan can attack us where we think we are strong, in the very areas where we are proud of our strengths. He will approach us through the greatest talents and spiritual gifts we possess. Who's felt that? I've felt that. If we are not wary, Satan can cause our spiritual downfall by corrupting us through our strengths as well as exploiting our weaknesses. So he exploits our weakness, which he probably did here for James Covell, but he also corrupted him through his strengths, telling him he maybe wasn't good enough, or that what he had felt when the Lord had first given him that revelation was just made up, that it wasn't right. Now, how many of us have felt that? I was like, wow, that is so true. Where I get something and I know it's right. I know I'm supposed to do it. And then, I can't do it right at that moment. So these are things that will take a couple of days for me to prepare on, or to focus on or do. And then I get to the point where a couple of days I'm like, was that really a revelation? Should I still do that? And I start questioning myself. Just don't do that, Lorraine. You know that was. You know so strongly that Heavenly Father told you that. Just do it. So, and that's just a little part of it. I know that Satan attacks me on my strengths. He tells me I'm not good enough, that I'm not doing a good job. And yet plenty of people tell me I'm doing a great job. And yet I still don't think I am. I know, right? That's really something I'm going to have to think about, that Satan does exploit and does actually attack us on our strengths, because it makes sense to me. I've sort of got to really think about this too. But that's from President Oak. So I really like that. Maybe that rings true for you too. Maybe you're experiencing that as well. I'd love to hear if you are. But yeah, that was a little bit of James Covell. So we're going to focus more on what James Covell could have done in section 39. And I'll see you back for insight number 5 in a minute. All right.